Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Now, I want to pop in and talk about this because it's something I'm seeing, and I guess I'm kind of calling it a woman manning up. And what I mean by that is women, so many women stepping up to the plate to be providers, taking care of their kids by themselves, and figuring out a way to make the money, get the money, earn the money to take care of their kids. And so many men falling by the wayside, not paying child support, not being there for their kids. I get to see this up close and personal, not just in what I do professionally, but just in my circle, in my family and friends, getting to see so many women take care of their kids by themselves. And then on the other side, seeing women go out and earn a lot of money. And I'm coaching women who literally, and I don't get the same. I don't see the same on the other side with men very often, but it's a lot of women I done coach who have $50,000 just sitting in an account, 100,000, 200, $300,000. That is why when you see these scams online, when you see like the Tinder swindler, it's like, how is this man getting millions of dollars? When you see the other guy from like one of the other sites, Match or eHarmony, he got millions of dollars. It's like, how are they getting millions of dollars? It's from women. They're getting it from women. And how do these women have all of this cash and all of the access to cash, like the access to credit, to get credit cards and to get high limits to be able to give it to this man? And these women are doing it because they're looking for love. They're desperate for love. They want a man so bad that they will give this man tens of thousands of dollars just because they see this man as their potential suitor. They see this man as a potential husband. So this woman who has worked, who has just toiled, done all of this sacrificing and working on herself, she will take and dump her hard-earned money, her hard-earned credit. She will set it ablaze and watch it burn for love. How many men are doing that? And I just have to be honest about it. Like, people say, oh, you pandering. No, I just tell the truth. I just tell the truth. In the last video, I was telling women that you're not the same as a man. You're not as physically strong as a man. You can't just whoop a man just because, you angry and you think you just finna put hands on this man and you win that fight easily. No, it's only a select amount of women that can just whoop a man because of the strength. And so you think women want to hear that? You think that's pandering to women? So when the shoe on the other foot, and it just happened to be the truth that women are making and saving money and able to go try to buy a husband, it's not a lot of men that's going to be willing to do that, to buy a wife. Now, yeah, men going to spend money on a woman and all of that, but a man ain't saving all his money to give it to a woman. And that's what so many women are doing. Like, they've taken and investing in this man business idea, letting this man move into their place, letting this man drive a car. It's women quickly buying a man a car, buying him a new truck, buying him this and that, like helping him get on his feet. And that's what women are doing. And it's like, the reason being, we seeing this so much. What I'm seeing is a very weak mentality from men. Honestly, personally, I have lived out the weak mentality. Like, I've been that weak man that is like, want to control a woman, want to let money define my worth as a man, want everything to be about money, and just thought that was my whole worth. I've been that man. And it's just a weak state to be in. It's a state of inadequacy. It's a state of insecurity. It's a state of fear. it's a state of just doubt, worry, stress, frustration, pain, trauma. It's just a bad state to be in as a man, to feel like money is everything and that determines the situation. And so there's just this mindset that I'm seeing from men that's against women and competing with women. And oh, I don't want this woman because she's a boss, because she make money, because she makes 7 figures, because she love to work. And I talked about this on other video of why some men are saying it purely, but it's not a lot of men saying it purely. A lot of men saying it out of insecurity. Most men saying it out of insecurity because they don't want to feel less than, because this woman out earns them. And they want a woman who earns less so that they could feel like more of a man. And I could be that man if that was my life. That's not my life. But one day my wife may earn more than me. And then I'm gonna have to look in the mirror and see how I feel about myself. When she don't have to ask me for anything, which she don't have to ask me for nothing now, but it's just her mentality and how she was raised to be so independent that she asking her own way when she don't have to ask. But she's still asking her own way. Like, she'll show me something that she likes or show me some particular item, and then me as a man being a provider, I go get it. Whatever she showed me, she didn't technically say out her mouth, can I get this pair of shoes, or does this fit in the budget, so to speak. It's not her asking for permission, but even just to say, like, is this in our budget right now, what have you, she'll show me, and whatever she showed me, I go buy it. And so she know that. And then she don't have to say she asked me for something. But that's just how I am, because I know what she has sacrificed. I know what she's given. I know what she's doing. And in our companies, when we're able, she's able to get a salary from that, from the work that she's doing. But when you think about it, one day she may start something and it may take off and she may earn more than me. And then I have to be that man that look and say, okay, does this make me feel like less of a man? Do I love and appreciate and respect this, or do I despise it? And I'll be faced with that. But that's what I'm seeing is so many men that's like, hey, I don't like this type of woman. But women are being forced to man up. And it's crazy that I gotta say it like that. But what I'm seeing is, like, when I talk to these women, they're like, Tony, so many times I talk to these women, they're like, Tony, I'm ready for love. I'm ready for a relationship. Like, I'm ready to be able to sit down. Like, I don't mind working, I don't mind making money, but I don't want to have to do it like out of stress or out of fear. I want to be able to do it from a place of joy, so that I can really get joy and fulfillment from making money versus having to do it because it's an absolute necessity. They say, I want a man who is a provider, who is capable of providing, and that way I can work when we in a season that I can work, and I could be home with the kids if I need to be home with the kids, and I can help out if I need to help out financially. But if I don't need to, and we have kids, then I don't have to. And that's what I typically hear. But with the men of today, and not just today, it's been this way for some time, a little time now, but and that's why I did that video. I deleted it later just because, it offended a lot of people, and I don't like to rub people the wrong way. And then me having a son and me raising 2 boys, a lot of people probably took it like I'm talking directly about my sons when I was saying we raising weak and insecure men, or we raising weak and entitled men. And what I was talking about is there's so many men today that now that women are making money, it's a lot of men saying, hey, I'm going to use this woman for her money. And don't love the woman, don't like the woman, but because she making money, will marry her, will be with her, just to use her as an investor, to use her as a sponsor. And it's a lot of women that's sponsoring a man's dreams, and that's sponsoring this man, and the woman is doing what she have to do. She's working based on necessity, and the man is chasing a fantasy. And so the man chasing this fantasy, like being a rapper or, doing something else that really has no real purpose tied to it, but it's a fun way for him to do something. And this woman is funding it. This woman is paying the bills. This woman, and that's happening more and more now. And then we're in this place to where men are like, there was a time where men had to work regardless of how he felt about working. Now we're in a place to where women are making money, so and a woman can provide. So what's happening is now a man is taking and saying, hey, let me quit my job. So men are bringing home pink slips. It's men that's going to Staples, buying pink slips, writing a termination on the pink slip, getting a carbon copy of it, bringing that home, putting that on the table, got fired today. But really quitting their job so the woman could make the money, so the woman could provide and the man could trick off. The man could do what he want to do. And I'm seeing that, and it's not, across the board. It's not every man. It's not even the majority. But the fact that there's a minority and that's happening, we know that eventually that minority can become the majority, or it's a groundswell that starts to happen, and that could keep happening. And it can get worse and worse and worse. And so that's what we're seeing. And it's a lot of women being forced to man up, meaning to take care and to foot the bill. And men, what we got to realize as men is we're being taken. We're being had by the adversary. The devil is coming in, and through the media, through certain leaders, certain voices, certain podcasts, certain influencers, there's this resentment being placed in the heart of man toward women. And the woman has not done anything to the man. The woman may be reacting instead of responding to the actions of men. So you have women who have been cheated on, lied to, beat on, abandoned, abused, taken advantage of. And so these women start to put their guards up. They start to protect themselves. They start to change the way they move, change the way they do things. And because of that, they're moving differently, and they're more direct. They're more decisive. They don't give as many chances. They're not letting the man say or do anything he wants to say or do. They're standing up for themselves. They're speaking up. And they're willing to walk away. A man used to come and could make a mistake, could do something, not make a mistake, make a bad choice, and do something with another woman or be talking to another woman in month 2 of dating this woman, and the woman will overlook it. The woman will start to compete with this other woman because it's survival of the fittest. It's the Hunger Games for a husband. Well, now we're in a situation where women don't have to be, desperate. Women don't have to settle because she doesn't need a man for his money. She need a man for his love. So if a man come and he's not bringing love, but he bringing stress, he bringing chaos, he bringing drama, even if he bringing money, she's like, I don't need the money, so I don't want the drama. And so, whereas when women needed the money, they would have to accept the drama. But today, because women have their own money, they're not accepting no games. They're not accepting any drama. And that's why that article came out saying, are men going to be the loneliest group in society? And the answer is yes, because until we as men learn how to grow up and learn how to be men, meaning learning how to talk to a woman, learning how to be faithful to a woman, until we come to that place where we can do that, then we're not going to be able to make anything happen. Like we're not going to be able to get women of today to stay with you and settle. You're not going to be able to do that because she don't need you for anything other than love. She needs you for your masculinity. She needs you for that masculine touch, that masculine presence, that masculine feel. She needs you for your companionship, but not for your providership. Like their providership, that's a plus, that's great. If y'all gonna have kids and she gonna be home with the kids, then that's great. But she don't have to have that if you want to bring drama and be lying and deceiving and cheating and all of that. Because now the woman will say, well, I'd rather wait for an honest man that I can have kids with instead of rushing this thing and having kids with this man who's going to be dishonest and disloyal and just trash. And so it doesn't make sense for her to settle because she could pay her own bills and take care of herself, and she could do better by herself. And so men now have to accept the responsibility of growing. And that's a hard thing for men because we are so catered to by society in the sense of having OnlyFans right there, having Pornhub right there, having, these different sites that's right there. Got the sites to where you can, go buy a woman, pay a woman for something. You got the strip clubs, you got the swingers clubs, sex clubs. You got all of this stuff. You got the casinos and the gambling apps, the betting apps. You got the weed. Now you got the medical dispensaries, the medical weed. You got the video games. You got the cigars. You got all the alcohol, all the liquor stores. So it's so many vices readily available to men that it's hard for men to grow up and mature because it's so much pleasure. It's so much pleasure seeking opportunity that it's hard for men of today to die out to self, to sacrifice, and to love the process, love the grind of discipline, of self-discipline, because a man is given to so many youthful lusts. And being that men are given to those things eat away at the fabric of family. Those things eat away at the foundation, chip away at the foundation of a household. And a woman is like, I'm not gonna settle for that. I'm not going to sacrifice my peace and my prosperity and my sanity for a man who cannot get past pornography, who cannot get past gambling, who cannot get past any form of drug or pill, even if it's prescription, but just the misuse of it. The woman is like, I don't need that in my life. Like, I would rather stay alone. I'd rather pay my own bills. And so because of the lack of growth in men, because of the lack of gentleness in men, because of the lack of responsibility in men, women are being forced to man up. And then yet call it, being a woman, which, yeah, they're a woman and a woman is capable of doing a whole lot. But that doesn't mean she was intended to have to do all that. It doesn't mean a woman was intended to have to go to work and come home and take care of a child that she wasn't intended to have by herself. So it's one of those things to where, package is coming, y'all forgive me. It's one of those things to where it's like, is this fair to this woman who she went and she gave her body to this man, and then because the man could not stop cheating, could not stop beating, or could not stop controlling, could not stop lying, could not stop the drug use or the gambling or whatever, now this woman has to be a single mom. That's what I mean by, are women being forced to man up? Because now this woman now got to keep working because she got to provide. Whereas if the man would have been a man and died out to himself, crucified his flesh, consecrated himself, had discipline, then they would have been able to stay together. The woman would have been able to focus on the children and the family, and the man would have been working and providing. But because so many women want a husband and want love, And because the picking is slim in certain cities and places, women are sleeping with men who are felons. Women are sleeping with men who are drug addicts. Women are sleeping with men who are thieves, who are scammers. And women sleeping with these men, trying to see the good in the man. But what women don't understand is that, so a lot of women bring this upon themselves because of lack of knowledge. And that's why I do what I do. And the Bible said my people perish due to a lack of knowledge. So what I've found is that a lot of women don't understand that a man's choices and in his lifestyle is a direct reflection of how his relationship will be. Like, it's an indication. So if a man does drugs, marijuana is a drug. If a man does drugs, he is more likely to cheat, because if he's willing to take the risk of putting something in his body that will shorten his lifespan or that can do harm to his body, then why wouldn't he be willing to have sex with another woman? Because having sex with another woman is going to be pleasurable. It's going to be fulfilling. It's going to be a thrill. It's going to be a chase. So if he will do a drug, why wouldn't he sleep with another woman? If a man will gamble, which gambling will eat away at his finances, it'll eat away at his savings. It can take everything he's worth. If a man is willing to risk, to flush money down the toilet, that's what gambling is. If a man is willing to flush money down the toilet and risk being addicted to this challenge, to this competition, then what makes you think he can be faithful? You see what I'm saying? A lot of times women are dealing with men and ignoring their vices and their lifestyle and thinking that this man is going to be a productive, responsible husband. Now, there are some men who have a vice and yet can still be a great husband and father, but that is so few and far in between. It's such a minority that we can't even really process it. Like, we can't even really give it credit. So what a woman has to do is she got to look at a man, and I see men, this is their argument. Men are like, oh, well, it's the woman's fault that they're single moms. Women complaining about being a single mom, but what you think gonna happen when you choose Pookie and Ray Ray? And the man has it right. But here's the thing. The guy that's saying that in the comments is not in that woman's city to be an option for her. And the guy that's saying that in the comments and online is just one man. And there's millions of women that want a man. And so the few guys that's saying, hey, you're a single mom because you chose Pookie and Ray Ray, it's like, well, who are you loving? What woman have you taken off the market and given a great life to? And if you've done that and you're taken and you're not available, then why are you even talking about the women who choosing Pookie and Ray Ray? Because no woman in her right mind chooses a bad man. When a woman chooses a bad man, it's because she didn't know he was a bad man. She didn't know he was worth nothing. She saw his heart. She didn't know that his life choices of being a scammer or being a drug dealer or being addicted to weed or addicted to lean or addicted to a pill, she didn't think that would affect how he is as a lover and a father. She thought that's what men do. She was led to believe that's what men do because nearly every man she knows in her city does the same thing or something similar. So she was like, well, if every man smokes weed, like if 90% of men smoke weed, then who am I supposed to be with if I'm waiting on a man that doesn't smoke weed? And the men who don't smoke weed, they're already taken. They married by the age of 23. So it's not a lot left. So I got to take one of these men with a vice. And so she get with the man with the vice, and then the man gets her pregnant, and then his vices take over. and she ends up having to break up with him. Or the man's vice may pull him away from her and he breaks up with her. And so this is what we see happening. And then this is why we see so many single mothers. Single moms aren't just going to sleep with a man for the goal of being a single mom. They're going to sleep with a man for the goal of this man falling for them, falling in love, getting married, and then them raising their family together behind the white picket fence. Like, that was her vision, that was her dream, that was her goal. But she didn't know how this man was going to turn out, or she didn't know his habits, or she knew his habits and didn't know how that would play out in day-to-day life. So, and as it relates to a marriage. And that's what is confusing, because a woman may see her father be an alcoholic, but pay all the bills and stay with the family. She may see her father smoking, whether that's cigars or weed or going to the strip club or gambling, but yet be in the home, be a husband, be a father. So then she assumes, well, okay, if my dad did it, then nearly every man does it. And if my dad could stay in the home, then this man right here could stay in the home. And that's what happens. That's where we go wrong. That's where we go wrong. And that's how things break down. And so now millions of women are forced to man up. So think about this. And here's the thing. It's like there's not as many single dads as there are single moms. If there was, then we would have representation of that in our own story. So when you look at your story, you have to ask yourself, do I know more single moms or more single dads? 9 out of 10 people are going to know more single moms than single dads. And so men are not, on average, being asked to go to work and provide, come home, cook, and clean, and take the kids to practice or whatever and do all the kid stuff by yourself. That is a very rare occurrence in our world for a man. Like, that's like, even if 1 million men are doing it, which is not the case, that's a rare occurrence. Like, that's not something that's just common and everywhere you look, where a man is a single father due to his woman not being a good woman, his woman cheating on him. Yes, it has happened. Yes, it exists. It's nowhere near as normal or as common, I would say, as a woman being a single mother because of her man not growing up and accepting responsibility. You could probably count on one hand how many men you know who had to leave their woman because she wouldn't stop drinking or smoking or gambling or cursing or putting hands on him or cheating on him. You probably can count on one hand how many you know. I know one guy like that went through that. Y'all gotta forgive me. Y'all know. Out of all the men, I'm trying to think. Out of all the men I could think of, I know one guy who he's a single parent because of that. His woman just being too loose, being too wild, sleeping around, getting into drugs, getting into alcohol. And, you know, she's a product of her environment. I could think of one man. Now, single fathers, I could think of other single fathers who call themselves single fathers. And whether that means the child lives with them full time, I'm not sure. And the thing about it is most single fathers can get a woman anytime they get ready. Can go get a woman and get help from that woman anytime they get ready. And that woman could be their best friend. That woman could be their sister, their cousin, their mother, and get help. It's not the same for women. Some women who are single moms, they got the help of a sister or they got the help of a parent, their mother. But a woman who has been left by a man or was forced to leave a man because the man refused to grow up, that woman cannot just walk outside and just pick another man, because the woman is chosen by the man. The man approaches the woman. So therefore, she, as a classy woman, is waiting on a man to see her like what he sees and approach her. And then after doing that, she has to take time getting to know him to see what type of person he is. And she can't just go out and just pick a man and just say, hey, I want you, boom. But as men, we can do that. Like, if me and my wife split up, if I wanted to have another wife, I literally could meet that woman tomorrow. Tomorrow, like a qualified wife, meaning has the whole package. I literally could meet that woman tomorrow. And the reason why men aren't meeting that woman, the single men today, is because their standards are preferences. And they're confusing preferences with standards. They prefer this thing, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. And so that's why so many single men are saying, good men are saying they can't find their wife. Yes, it's harder than it used to be because women are changing. And there's a lot of women who are money motivated, size of the ring motivated, wedding plans motivated, Instagram and Reels and TikTok motivated. It's a lot of those women, but it's still far easier to identify a ready wife than it is to identify a ready husband in this day and age. And because I meet and deal with several women as a professional who are wife ready. Men who are husband ready, that's much less common. It's much less common because a woman is created for love. She is created for love. She's ready for love. She wants love. And a man he's not created for love. He created for dominion on earth. He's created for being the head, for being a leader, the commander in chief. Like, a man's heart is different. That's how a man could go to war. That's how a man could blow a head off. That's how a man could be a gang member. That's how a man do these things, because just the makeup in the mind is different. And so a man has to learn how to love and really be almost taught how to love and reinforcing these things in order for a man to really be, ready for that. And it's just not as common. It's not as common. Like, I would need all of my fingers and all of my toes to count the amount of women I know that are wife ready. And I would need one hand to count the amount of men I know that's husband ready. And that's the difference. And that's what we got to do something about. Like, as men, we got to stop crying and complaining. We got to stop comparing ourselves to women. We got to stop debating with women. We got to stop arguing with women. We got to stop trying to put a woman in her place and trying to control a woman, manipulate a woman, deceive a woman. And we got to be man enough to accept full responsibility for what we call to do and be. And we got to walk in that with peace and poise and with confidence, and then let that woman come and be who she is called to be. So, hey, think about this now. Think about this. Take it a little deeper. I could talk probably an hour, but I'm just tired, so I got to shut it down. But think on this. And for anybody that think the YouTube video is easy, it is not easy talking this long and trying to thoroughly talk through stuff and explain stuff. And I just fell asleep while I was talking, so y'all forgive me if I said like peanut butter and mustard while I was talking and didn't realize it. I literally went to sleep. But me and wife was up late last night because she was up late doing dishes. And I didn't want to go to bed without her, so I sat up and waited on her, do the dishes, and she wouldn't let me help her. So I'm tired today. And we went and looked at our new office space, and it got to be completely gutted and just remodeled. And so that's going to take some time. So if anybody, any of y'all in the Tampa Bay area got a family member that does remodeling, construction, let me know. They do it fair prices now. Hey, but God bless you. We'll talk soon. Oh, and make sure you check out TonyGasmAcademy.com to see if we got the Saturday school, and check out the mother courses if you have not. I got something for you. We'll talk soon.